and welcome to Empathy in Motion, the power of employee volunteering. My name is Chris Jarvis. I'm with Realize Worth, and today we're going to talk about volunteering as leadership development. So to do this, we're going to explore empathy and the perspective that empathy engenders. We're going to look at networks and influence, and then we're going to think about our skills, the freedom to develop new skills, and the place where we can practice existing skills. And then finally, we'll cover a recap of what we mean by empathy and why it's so powerful. Okay, let's look at empathy and perspective. The Leadership Quarterly published an article in 2011 entitled Empathic Emotion and Leadership Performance. It was an empirical analysis across 38 countries, and they were looking at the connection between empathy and employees and the believability or persuasion or effectiveness of that leader. Okay, here's a quote. Great leaders are able to interact with and adapt to new challenges, people, politics, and interpersonal dynamics. This is across multiple cultures, multiple companies, and multiple countries. Here's the connection. When people have empathy, they are more believable and approachable. Why? Empathy is the ability to imagine what another person is feeling. It leads to compassion, sympathy. It might lead to other things as well. But the ability to imagine what somebody else is feeling is very consequential when it comes to hoping to be an effective leader. So, empathy increases your leadership ability. Empathic employees are able to adapt, build on the strengths around them, and relate to their environment because it expands their perspective. By developing leaders through an experiential process of learning that involves intentional moments of critical reflection and sense-making, employees in leadership positions acquire the critical skills necessary to contribute to the organization's overall resiliency. This is what we call organizational resilience, and it's critical to the longevity and success of companies today. Transformative volunteering, which is the model that we advocate for in this series, looks to develop leadership through the cognitive process of learning and modeling a practice of sense-making. And this sense-making, if you remember, creates significance by bringing meaning to the experience. Equipped with this experiential knowledge, individuals then in these leadership roles possess the necessary skills and experience to contribute to, quote, the organization's capacity to anticipate, respond, and adapt. And that is the definition of organizational resilience. Employee volunteering also can help with our networking in the workplace as well as our influence. Let me explain. Most employees who advance at work do so through established connections, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's what we say when we didn't know the right person, but we might have known the right thing. So employee volunteering takes us out of our silo and exposes us to a broader range of power plays and interplay that exist in the workplace. We meet new people in different departments and are able to develop relationships because we're building a habitat house together. And that's kind of a cool opportunity that you might not get otherwise. It also, employee volunteering that is, can help us increase our influence. Organizational influencers earn the respect of their peers through shared experience. But there's a caveat here. Just because we go out and volunteer on our own doesn't mean anybody in the workplace is going to necessarily think better of us. Some of them will, and some of them may not. Jessica Rodell has published an interesting piece of research recently that demonstrates that some people's perspective of people who volunteer can go down as well as up. Here's the differentiator. When we volunteer with other people and have a shared experience, it goes up because we share that experience together. And that's key to employee volunteering. Giving people a place to have a shared experience, discuss it, bring sense-making to it, and bring meaning to your experience is critical to bonding and developing relationships that might help us advance in the workplace. How does employee volunteering give us freedom to learn new skills, but also develop new skills? They're two different things. Let me explain. Sometimes in our jobs, we might do this or do that, but never get a chance to practice this thing over here. And this thing over here could be important to our advancement in the workplace or just feeling like we're making more of a contribution. Employee volunteering can take us out to places where we can hone new skills. It enables the practice of new skills without the risk of high-profile failure as well. And that's kind of cool. Freedom to learn and fail, but get better at something that we might not have exposure to otherwise. But then there's the other part where we're asked to be good at something, such as project management, team leadership, public speaking, conflict resolution, kind of soft skills stuff. And we want to be able to practice that and get better at that as well. Well, if you've ever volunteered, I promise you that will offer you the opportunity to get better at things, especially in what can be a tough situation. Not enough resources, changing schedules, nobody showed up to unlock the doors. You'll get better at project management in those situations, I promise. And if you get the privilege of tutoring young elementary school kids, you will learn how to do public speaking, I promise. So why is empathy so powerful? Remember, empathy is the ability to identify and understand another's situation, feelings, and even maybe their motives. It's our capacity to recognize the concerns other people may have. And that's because empathy allows us to fluidly take on another's perspective, to kind of become them as we stand in their shoes almost. It allows us, being able to do this, to create bonds of trust, to get insights into what others may be feeling or thinking or what they may even need, to sharpen our people acumen and to inform our decisions going forward. These are critical aspects of effective leadership. Empathic employees are able to adapt, build on the strengths around them, and to relate to their environment. This is not only critical to leadership, but critical to leadership that can build organizational resilience. Empathy is a key expression of emotional intelligence. Research on emotional intelligence in organizations based at Rutgers University found direct ties between emotional intelligence and measurable business results, due in part because of the important role it plays in effective leadership. And that's how employee volunteering can be a key element in effective leadership development. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you right here next time.